the nearest exit to your seat. In the event of an emergency, slowly move to the exit, and our security or game day staff will direct you to a safe and orderly evacuation. And in accordance with the facility policy, you know the drill, fans. This is a smoke-free facility. No smoking, no vaping in the facility. If you wish to do so, you wish to do so once you leave the building. As always, make sure you keep up with everything G-Elite. Visit us at basketball.on.ca or check us out on Instagram at OBA-Ball. It's of course the best way to stay in the know for schedules, scores, and highlights. And finally, we want to remind you to get your G-Elite merchandise. We have some of the best hoodies in the house. Our exclusive purple hoodies are now on sale at shop.basketball.on.ca today. All right, fans, it is time to welcome our starting five from each respective team. Starting up with the Tecumseh Saints. Saints in the house, make some noise. Starting today, we have number 6, Peyton Zinnick. Number 9, Olivia Boucher. Number 13, Xavier Fox. Number 22, Katrina Miller. And number 24 is Daphne Northcott. And this time, let's welcome the starting five for ONL-X. Make some noise. We have number 2, Catherine Luxembourg. Number 5, Maria Arkvarn. Number 17, Ann Arbor. Number 30, Anna Sleep. And number 32, Erica Thorne. Fans, this is our G-Elite Junior Girls semifinal matchup. If you're excited and ready for some action, let's hear you get loud.
Welcome back inside the Royal Crown Academic School Gymnasium semifinal number 2 underway here at the Ontario Basketball G-Elite Playoffs, ONL-X, with the first look from deep. That's off the mark. Starting lineups are as follows for the Tecumseh Saints in the yellow uniforms. Number 6, Peyton Zinnick. Number 9, Olivia Boucher. Number 13, Xavier Goss. Number 22, Katrina Miller. And lastly, number 24, Daphne Northcott. There's a loose ball on the ground, jump ball called. Ottawa Next Level will counter with Catherine Lichtenberg, Maria Arkvarn, Ann Arbor, Anna Sleep, and Erica Thorne. The winner of this will take on PDM, who just beat the team from North Toronto, the Huskies, in a back-and-forth contest.
Back and forth, to say the least. I mean, we're looking at two teams here now that on paper are pretty similar in terms of the players that they kind of have at their disposal, but you kind of hit it on the head, JJ. Rebounding is what's going to be crucial for both of these teams, and I think we know that they can shoot the 3 ball. We know that they can drive in, but who's going to be able to capitalize on the defensive end is going to be important.
Boucher drives. That's off the mark. Rebound picked up by Arkvarn. Ahead, Anna Sleep blocked by Miller. Ottawa still with possession. The floater no good. Last touch by Luchenberg and out of bounds. This morning's officials are Ronalyn Jaklinski and Rob Spadafora. The Saints able to get it in. Straight from down the left-hand side, Boucher. Inside. Goss underneath. Northcott swallowed up by 2. Turns, no good. Staying walled up was Anna Sleep alongside Ann Arbor. Goss gets it in. Quick shot from deep. That misses everything. Loose ball. Sleep. Northcott comes away with it. Too strong. Bodies all over the floor. Here's Anna Sleep. Ahead to Thorne. She's going to slow it down. Looking for Sleep on the dive. It's not there. Xavery Goss gives it up. It's Boucher on the far side. The Saints into the front court. Zinnick, too strong. Arnkvarn, stolen. Here's Northcott, spinning, misses, and Sleep with the defensive rebound. Stolen on the backside by Northcott, who's called for the foul. First foul of the game is going to go against Daphne Northcott. She's 3rd in the league in scoring, averaging a shade under 12 points per game in 18 games played. Was instrumental yesterday with 13 points in the Saints' 54-25 win over the Toronto Lords. Stolen by Zinnick. Here's Northcott. Turns the corner, tries to beat Thorne. Thorne stays with her step for step out of bounds. Was Xavery Goss.
We're seeing a lot of like quick ball movement opportunities from both sides. I think they're right now just trying to push the other team defensively to kind of see what they're giving them. But I think both teams could benefit from just slowing the ball down ever so slightly.
Anna Sleep will go to the free throw line as she's fouled on the shot attempt. Katrina Miller takes the foul. It's going to be a long morning for Miller, who's going to have to guard Sleep. Arguably the best player in this league, only grade 9. Still goose eggs on the scoreboard, 7:53 in the opening frame. Sleep makes good on the second. The dump pass to Northcott. Sleeps there to disrupt the shot attempt. And out and on the run, it's Ann Arbor. Kicks it to the corner. Top side, Lichtenberg for 3. Back iron, Northcott with the rebound. Entry pass swallowed up. ONL-X deep in their own zone. No harm, no foul. Arbor over the timeline, picked up by Boucher. Erica Thorne now going to work side to side. Lichtenberg gets past the first line of defense, but coughs it up right to Miller. Here's Boucher. Kicks it to the corner. Northcott working into the paint. Gets her defender in the air. Sees it through, and Daphne Northcott has the opening points for the Saints.
That was a good take, too. There's also a good patience as well to not go for the immediate option. And another interception here from Northcott.
Thorne doesn't do enough to distract Northcott, who gets another 2. Sleep with the handoff. Downhill, off glass. Ann Arbor's on the board. And you see ONL-X working through Anna Sleep at the high post, right at that foul line. A lot of their offense will come from her through that spot. Northcott, catch and shoot. No, she puts the rock to the deck, steps in the floater, leaves it short, fighting for the rebound. Arnkvarn able to come away with it. It's a 2-on-1. Ghost trying to get back into the play. Arnkvarn, no. Rebound, Zinnick. Quickly ahead to Northcott. I was talking to the Saints head coach before the game and was asking him, how he gets Northcott going early. And he said that Daphne Northcott's one of those players that you don't really have to coach. She's up on her own every day in the gym at 6 a.m., getting shots up, free throws, shot clock violation. 6 a.m., getting up shots and free throws and working on footwork and dribbling. And, you don't have to really coach a player like that other than just keep them emotionally in check.
And I think that's something that is so specific to a lot of good players as well, is you got to make sure that they aren't allowing themselves to be emotionally taken out of the game and allowing their skills to kind of fall to the wayside.
Fight for it on the ground. Jump ball. Going to stay with Ottawa next level. It'll be Arbor to trigger on the inbound. Caitlin Potty here at the scores table, getting ready to check in. Boucher, bounce pass. Ahead to Poirier. Brielle Poirier. Inside. Attacked on the backside by Erica Thorne. That'd be two shots upcoming. Another player who plays with a lot of emotion, Brielle Poirier. Saw her yesterday afternoon in that victory against the Lords. Put on a clinic in terms of playmaking and ball handling at the free throw line now. Some stiff rims here at the Royal Crown School.
Mm-hmm.
Also checking into the game is Kayla Sellis. Very good vision. Often finding the right read, making the right basketball play. Sleep fighting with Northcott for the rebound. Sleep comes away with it. Tries to beat Sellis. Ahead to Annabelle. Coughed up. Arnkvarn misses from right under the basket. And the Saints are out and on the run. Poirier finds Sellis. Far side. Poirier. Spin. Nice move. Doesn't get the finish. Tapped out of bounds by Kayla Sellis. Ava McKay is going to come in for Ottawa next level. Give Anna Sleep a little break. That pass tapped into the backcourt. And Jasmine Annabelle picked up by Sellis. Going to reset it with Erica Thorne. Top side movement. Arnkvarn gets the step, has to kick it back out. McKay from distance. Bottom.
Immediate impact coming off that substitution there for ONL-X. Beautiful shot from Ava McKay.
Picking up the ball. Jasmine Annabelle with the steal. Into the body. Didn't reestablish herself back on the court, so that's going to be out of bounds off of Annabelle.
The ball's getting rushed a lot for the Saints. I think that they do have a lot of good ball movement, but they're rushing the chances that they do have in front of them. I think they need to punch the gap a bit harder and give themselves a good opportunity to get a basket.
Nice dump off. Northcott is there, just a little too strong. Sellis with the offensive rebound, finds Poirier, kicking it back out. Boucher, 6 on the shot clock. There's a violation against the Saints. Turnover, too many seconds in the key.
I think on Northcott on that one. She just got caught watching just ever so slightly, which is what results in the 3-second call.
McKay accepts the pass over the timeline. Tries to get by Potty. Here's Annabelle. Arbor working on the wing. McKay. There's some space inside if she can get there. Shot's a little off the mark. Rebound by Boucher, and Northcott has it out and on the run. With 1 to beat. Into the body. Foul called. And that's going to go against Erica Thorne. So 2 quick fouls against Thorne, who's one of the defensive specialists for ONL-X. Peyton Zinnick getting back into the game here.
What I think that she could do just ever so slightly a bit better to guard Northcott is because Northcott's so quick that especially when you're heading downhill, I would cheat a little bit. So I would essentially run past her so I can get in front of her. But again, it's so hard when you have a player who's crafty enough to get to the basket as Northcott is.
She misses both on that trip to the charity stripe. Another loose ball tie-up. It's going to stay with the Saints. A great showing of support for the Tecumseh side. Plenty of fans here in attendance. They got the signs. They got the cattle shakers. Good inbound pass and finish. Caitlin Potty on the board. Lutzenberg picks up the dribble, gives it up. Brielle Poirier has a lane, takes it strong with the right hand. That's a thing of beauty. Brielle Poirier on the board. Hannibal working on Celis. They're trying to work out a McKay here at the top side. But good defense by Caitlin Potty to deny that. Although she'll pick up her second foul.
That's the first game foul for the Saints. And number 22, Trina Miller will check into the game. When number 22 will play.
Katrina Miller back into the game for Daphne Northcott. At the line, it's Ava McKay. Missing the first.
As back and forth as this game has been so far, I mean, we've only seen 8 points scored for Tecumseh the Saints, and then a total of 7 here scored for ONL-X. So very low scoring, but it honestly just shows to the aggression that both teams are possessing on defense right now.
Here's Celis working back to the middle of the court. Zinnick going to go back the other way, find Celis on the perimeter. Here's Poirier, feet set, shot is up and good. 4 points for Poirier, 4 points for Northcott. It's a 3-point lead. The Saints ahead as we approach the 2-minute mark of the opening 10. Lutzenberg again, dead ball. Finds Annabelle, who turns the corner and swatted away, well timed by Peyton Zinnick.
Lutzenberg is getting caught multiple times picking up that ball. She just needs to understand that she can dribble, she can take her time, she has the ability to keep it, but don't limit yourself by picking up the ball too early.
Back-to-back blocks on the defensive side for the Saints. The second going to Katrina Miller on the take by Ava McKay. JJ Evison, Sydney Holmes here on Ontario Basketball's YouTube page, bringing you G Elite Playoff Semifinal number 2. The winner to take on PDM later today after the All-Star game. Saints into the front court. Poirier with a flurry of moves. Finds Miller underneath, unable to finish. ONL-X ball.
The only thing I would say for Miller, that was a beautiful low effort. Instead of fading away to the basket, fade to the middle. Give yourself a better option for that jump shot, a better view of the net. So instead of spinning out to the left, I would have just spun into the right. More central for her.
Lutzenberg gets the step. Nice step through. Can't get the shot to go. Swallowed up by 3 yellow jerseys. Jump ball will stay with ONL-X. 1:23 left in the first quarter. Anna Sleep back into the game.
Like you said, JJ, I love how a lot of the times, actually majority of the time, they're running their offensive play through Sleep at the top of the foul line there. But I'm a big proponent, not just because I was a big myself, but bigs have one of the best court visibilities, in my opinion. Maybe a bit biased, but I think that they have the ability to kind of just see the floor, know who sets screens on who, kind of understand the play a little better. But not a lot of coaches will rely on having the big start the play. So it's an interesting scheme that they have going on.
And you can see the Saints doubling her anytime she's down low. And they're kind of letting her be that playmaker at that free throw line, because if she's making plays, she's not scoring the ball. Anytime she dives right below that, they're going to send 2 bodies to her kind of consistently. We got a player down on the court. I think there's a bunch of bodies fighting for a loose ball. And
what I'll say too, and I know we kind of mentioned it a bit earlier, there is a proponent now in women's basketball. It's always been physical, right? And I think that's kind of been a staple. But when it comes to loose balls, there's always like a message where coaches like, get on the ground, put your body on the ground, dive for the ball. And yes, do that. But when everyone dives for the ball at the same time, there's almost, it's a high percentage chance that there's going to be an injury as a result of that. I'm also one of those players that I was probably the first on the floor as well. I mean, you want the ball for your team, right? But with the uptick in injuries that we are seeing from a lot of these younger players coming up, having with already torn ACL injuries or shoulder injuries, or definitely more than when I was playing. You just want to make sure that you can have a long career injury-free as possible.
Best ability is availability, Sid.
That it is.
We're looking at, standout players. Obviously, Northcott has started out strong. Anna Sleep, not really into her rhythm yet, but she's first in the G Elite League in points per game at just over 14 and in rebounds per game just under 14. So, always a double threat, and that goes along with nearly 1.5 blocks and almost 3 assists per game. Again, a grade 9 who is doing it at this level. And if you're, Coach Lee from Royal Crown, or if you're Coach Marlowe from Crestwood, you're kind of looking at, this tournament and these players and thinking, how can I get them to my program to develop once they get through grade 10 and 11 and 12 so that they can be a contributing factor, not only to a winning program, but they can develop themselves to eventually maybe go down to the States and continue to play like a Toby Fournier, like a Nagab McKeer, like a Delaney Gibb. There are so many success stories coming out of Toronto now, especially on the women's side, Silas Swords, that you just kind of see them at this level and you're like, wow, the upside is huge.
I agree. I also think, too, the way that it's gone, where there's more access to games, competitions. For a lot of us players growing up, it was the only tournaments you played in or the only exhibitions you had were the ones that your coaches were able to find for you. Now there's set leagues, there's set competitions every weekend, there's summer tournaments, there's so many things that allow these players to just constantly continue to play their sport. And so the level of excellence that we're seeing from these players is just next to none.
Peyton Zinnick up on her own accord. Maybe a little bit of a stinger, with that cluster of nerves in that shoulder area that can sometimes just stop you in your tracks. Saints up by 3. Northcott from just inside the 3-point line finds the bottom. 7 points in the opening 10 minutes for Northcott. Arnkvarn turns, has a lane, gets downhill with the left too strong. Last touched out of bounds by Annabelle. Saints ball.
I don't know if there's such a thing as going in too quickly, but ONL-X is pushing the ball so much that they're not allowing themselves to set up. They've tried the fast break opportunity, hasn't landed for them. I think it would serve them a little better to slow the ball down their next offensive rush.
Ghost is down low, wide open. Ball finds her a little bit late. Northcott in the corner, fakes the shot, moves into the elbow area, hooks it up, doesn't get the bounce, and asleep above everybody for the rebound. Finds Jasmine Annabelle, who has a traipsing Arnkvarn down the left side off the backboard and through.
Annabelle, good patience on that, especially the floater. That was the only option for the pass. You couldn't have done anything better, and that was perfectly timed.
Poirier putting on a flurry of moves on the far side. Kicks it back to the middle. Goes back to Poirier. Can't corral it cleanly. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Celis, one bounce. The floater is good. The first quarter comes to an end. It's 14-9. And that means it's the perfect time for me to let you know that the Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit portal.uptownwireless.ca. That's portal.uptownwireless.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected, stay in the game. Powered by OBA and Rogers. 10 minutes in the books. Daphne Northcott leads all scorers with 7 points in the game. The Saints up by 5. Adjustments for the second quarter here, Sid.
Starting things off with the Saints, the middle was so congested for them, and I think that was a staple throughout the entirety of the first quarter. They did a lot better when they spaced the floor. Northcott did a lot better too when she was finding herself on the opposite block a lot of the time. When she spaced it out, goes to where she's comfortable, which is a little bit outside the key. They need to just space the floor. They need to create those options because, especially too, the Saints are really good at finding pockets driving into the net, but they need to allow themselves to have space to do so. Going on to NLX, I think patience. Patience is one of the things that I want them to really adopt in this game. Their shot selections. Um, they need to better execute their passes, and we saw a couple of the ones down there too. Um, Annabelle was very clean in her over the top pass, and that was a smart selection. I just want to see more of that here in the second.
Saints have the ball to start the second quarter. Back to the basket. Katrina Miller turns, and that shot is deflected by Sleep. Ann Arbor working down the right-hand side. Northcott with the steal. Ghosts unable to track it down and keep it in the play area. So pushing the pace, the Saints were just getting a little ahead of themselves as our photographer crew moves around from that baseline, almost getting trucked over. Lutchenberg gets by Northcott. Looking to defer to somebody, and she finds Sleep baseline, fakes the shot, attacks the basket, leaves it short. Rebound Miller. Coughed up. And here comes the Saints. Northcott working back to the middle of the floor, trying to lose Lutchenberg. She stays with her the whole way. Kicking it back out. Sellis inside. Floater is around and into the hands of Sleep. And Ann Arbor has it again. Going to slow it down this time. Wait for her teammates to get into the front court. Lutchenberg. Annabelle. Arkvarn, and Sleep is well beyond the painted area. The entry pass for Arkvarn tapped out of bounds by Olivia Boucher.
They're still moving a little bit too quick. Like Arbor did, she tried to slow the ball down before getting up to half, and then it was just like at 100 again. I think they could benefit from maybe living in like that 80% range where you're still moving quick, but you're giving your brain some time to catch up with your feet, right?
Saints basketball on the baseline. Annabelle knocked it out of bounds, trying to track down the rebound. Xavery Ghost, far side. Finds Boucher, who hands it off to Northcott, who steps back, leaves it long. Rebound put back by Boucher. Errant pass and ONL-X, like you said, Sid, just playing a little out of rhythm right now. Poirier comes back into the game for Kayla Sellis. And checking in is Carrington Muldoon and Erica Thorne playing with 2 fouls here for ONL-X.
A long break from her after grabbing 2 quick ones in the first quarter.
Here comes Boucher on the near side. Has Poirier on the dive. Thorne up in her grill. Poirier has some space. Tries to navigate through a flurry of bodies. Kicks it back out. Shot is up. Boucher off the mark. Goes fighting for the rebound. Jump ball going to be called. Possession arrow favoring Ottawa next level. Quickly in. Annabelle on the far side. And there's a body glued to Anna Sleep every second of this game so far. Blocked at the top. Muldoon unable to get the shot off. And here's Daphne Northcott. Ahead to Boucher. Steps in. Too strong off of the Saint. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor. ONL-X Jr. going to talk things over. Not much scoring here in the second quarter either. It is a 7-point lead for the Saints. Sid, just a little bit out of rhythm. How do you stop that? How do you slow things down when part of your identity is to push the pace in transition?
There needs to be someone on the floor that is willing to take the initiative to do it, especially when a lot of your schemes are relying on the fact of catching the defense out of position early. I think it also comes down to slightly someone wanting to play a little bit of hero ball. Sometimes there's players that can fall into positions where they want to be the one to get the baskets, they want to be the one to get the interception, but it's okay to play relaxed. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily taking yourselves out of the play. It means that you're allowing yourself to see the court run the systems that you have set up. Don't force the ball if you don't necessarily have to. And I think this could bode for both teams, honestly. Both teams are pretty much pushing the ball in situations where they don't have to, trying to catch the defense out of position. And both of these teams are pretty evenly matched. So I think both of them can take the time, be patient, allow the plays to develop, and play hard defense.
Here's Arbor over the timeline, has Annabelle, one bounce into sleep. Double team is there and forced into a travel.
You're always a big proponent of this, JJ, but you cannot give the big the basketball below her knees.
No, you're right. Catch a high, keep it. And I think that's how Anna Sleep's most effective. If she catches it at that area, keeps it high, she's got the vision to see where that pass needs to go.
Exactly.
So it's in my hands, out of my hands type of situation. And that really, takes away that double team. Downhill, Boucher, no. Goes with the rebound, kicks it out. Poirier, that's too strong. Anna Sleep out and on the run, picked up by Boucher. Kicks it back. Ann Arbor, top side. Annabelle finds Sleep. The give and go. That's what they were doing yesterday afternoon, and it was working to perfection against the Toronto Lords, being stifled here by the Saints, but Jasmine Annabelle at the line.
I'll tell you why, too. With Sleep, she positions herself at the top of the three-point line, or the top of the foul line, right? Because the Saints are hardwired to not let her get the ball, they put not only the person who's guarding the ball on her, but also her defenders there too. So there's two defenders that are on her, but she's so tall that all she has to do is get the ball, do a quick turn, and pass it to the open defender.
Poirier steals that pass intended for Annabelle. The give and go with Ghost on the far side. Miller's down low, turns with the left off the front iron. Jasmine Annabelle with the rebound. Foul's going to be called against Olivia Boucher.
Miller needs to have, that's the second time now where I've seen her take herself out of a good scoring opportunity. That last one, she easily had it where she could have dropped her left foot, gone to the right-hand side of the basket. All it takes is giving yourself that split second, leaning back, feel where that defender is, feel what hip is open, and drive as hard as you can to that side.
Sleep's got the switch. They switch back. Katrina Miller gets away with a little excess contact. Here's Boucher with the dump off. Poirier can't see it through. Muldoon with the defensive rebound. Ann Arbor picks up the ball, finds Annabelle. Far side, Thorne quickly ahead to Sleep, who's fouled. And Katrina Miller picks up her second foul of the contest. She's been tasked with a lot, and she meets Sleep very high up, denies that pass quite well.
What I think she should do, honestly, this is just a small tweak for her to execute on that because she was ever so slightly behind in getting that ball from Sleep. What she needs to do, because a lot of ONL-X, they're passing the ball right to Sleep's chest, so they're not really giving her a good chance to get the ball. I would hedge that. I would completely put my hand on her back. As soon as that ball's let go from the point guard, I would jump it, grab the ball, and head the other way. I mean, that's just what I would do. They don't necessarily have to do that too, but I mean, it's just if they want my opinion.
I mean, you had great instincts about the last game, so.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of called it.
In-game adjustments are a huge part, especially during a championship weekend like this, right, where you play multiple games in one day or over the course of a few days.
Yeah.
You obviously have your foundation of what your success needs to be, but you have to read and react and adjust.
Exactly.
And so, how much the coaching comes to it. We'll have to see here. 6:34 left in the opening half. Low-scoring game, 7-point lead. The Tecumseh Saints up ahead of ONL-X. Two teams from opposite ends of the province, if you will. I guess Ottawa in about the middle.
It's a good distance, I would say.
Tecumseh closer to the southern part of Ontario. ONL-X ball quickly in. Muldoon. Shot is up, and it's good. Carrington Muldoon from deep. The Saints back on the offensive. Ghosts working baseline. The dump off swallowed up. Kayla Sellis has it now. Top side, giving it up. Poirier forced outside by Annabelle. And getting a little too handsy was Jasmine Annabelle. It's her first.
She was so close to. She was playing such solid defense up until that point.
Sleep with the steal. Annabelle out on the run. Slowing down, off glass, leaves it short. Erica Thorne, second chance, no good. And Annabelle comes up, clutching her nose, maybe got hit with an errant hand. A little bit of blood coming from Annabelle's nose forces her to the bench. And back in comes Maria Arnkvarn. Saints ball. Thorne with the strip on the inbound pass. Can't get it to go. Fighting for the loose ball. Keeps it inbounds. Finds Arkvarn, far side. Muldoon fakes a shot. Working left. Swallowed up. Here's Arkvarn. 5 on the shot clock. Working left. Stepping through. Doesn't get it to go. Rebound. Loose ball. Tie up Arkvarn. It'll go with the Saints. It was Arkvarn and Kinsley Codnam fighting for the loose ball. 4-point lead. Saints ahead with a chance to add to that as we approach 5.5 left in the second quarter. Poirier dancing, trying to lose Thorne. That bounce pass intended for Xavier Ghost out of bounds.
The defensive pressure for ONL-X coming into the second quarter has been a lot higher. They're forcing the ball handler a lot more, which is forcing those turnovers that we're seeing here.
That inbound pass intended for Sleep, knocked away by Cottenham. Here's Boucher, stepping through, turn around, off the iron, gets her own rebound. Poirier wants it, feet set, shot is up, well off the mark. Ghost with the offensive rebound. Cottenham misses, Sellis misses. It's about 6 second chance opportunities, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Not too sure when it touched the rim, if ever.
In my opinion, I think it did on that last one.
No, not the one from Sellis. You mean
No,
the three?
Exactly.
From Poirier?
The 3, it did. I do believe there should have been a reset, but it's okay. We're headed the other way now.
Muldoon going back and forth. Tries to break. The press does. Gets the lane. Gives it up. Sleep. Tries to turn it. Loses the handle. Muldoon there to reset it with Thorne. Cross. Nice dive. A little too strong. And it's Ghost with the ball out the other way. Here's Cottenham. Has to kick it back out. Kayla Sellis fouled on the pass attempt.
That was very high to start your layups there for Casimira. I think she should have pulled it out at that point. There was just no angle for her to kind of get anything off of Sleep there. I mean, they were able, obviously, to get the ball back out of it, but...
The Tecumseh Saints going to call a timeout, talk about it, how to finish out this 4:26 of the opening half of semifinal number 2, the Ontario Basketball Association's G Elite playoffs, underway. The Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit portal.uptownwireless.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected, stay in the game, stay powered by OBA and Rogers. (16-12), the Saints ahead, led by Daphne Northcott's 7 points, all of them coming in the first quarter. Goes to Trigger on the baseline. Trying to create space right under the basket in a tough spot. They get it in. The shot's up, off the mark. Rebound, corralled by Cottenham. No good on the second chance. And now it's Arkvarn on the far side. Sleep has her arm up, running the middle of the lane. Arkvarn kicking it out to Ann Arbor. Muldoon Looking inside, Sleep, back to Muldoon. On the take, fouled on the way up. And Carrington Muldoon's going to go to the free throw line. Kinsey Cottenham gets the foul. Carrington Muldoon has a 3 and drained her first of 2 looks from the charity stripe. Make it 2 for 2 from Muldoon. Good to see Zinnick back on the court after that fall there. She was gripping her neck. Here come ONL-X. Again with pace. Thorne finds Sleep on the dive and well read by Boucher to intercept that pass. Zinnick. Working left. Nothing's there. Kicks it out. Goes back into the paint. Cottenham. No. Inside. Stepping through. Offensive rebound and put back Olivia Boucher. Sleep finds Arbor. Foul. Count the basket. And you can see more of that give and go starting to work here for ONL-X in the second. Katrina Miller picks up her 3rd foul. 3:10 left in the second. And ONL-X in the bonus.
I think the Saints are going to be in quite a bit of trouble if they don't have another person that can step up and guard Sleep, especially if Miller is already at her 3rd foul.
It's a 1-point game after that old-fashioned 3-point play. Kayla Sellis picks up the foul, fighting for the loose ball. Muldoon back to the free throw line.
That's the line of Carrington Muldoon.
Carrington Muldoon coming off the bench, giving ONL-X great minutes. 7 points now for Muldoon to lead ONL-X. And they're ahead by 1.
Miller finally takes a seat on the bench. I think Coach realized a little later that she had that 3rd foul.
Kayla Sellis on the far side, picked up by Muldoon. The flare screen finds the ball into the hands of Ghost. She's open. Sellis, baseline, a little too strong, fighting for it, last touched by Boucher. ONL-X ball. So we'll see now with Northcott and Miller off the floor who's going to be charged with guarding Sleep. The inbound pass just given away. Muldoon stuck in the corner, throws it off of a Saints player and out of bounds. Smart heads-up play there. All the way to the timeline. Sleep has it. Fouled on the backside by Caitlin Potty. Her 2nd. So Anna Sleep at the free throw line where she's 1 of 2 in the contest so far. Just a single point. Again, this is a player who averages nearly 15 points per game. She led the G Elite in that category. Sees the first one through.
The Saints are doing a good job of cutting her off high post. You can tell that, obviously from either playing them before or kind of watching film, but they know that the play runs through her every single time on offense, so they're really trying to cut down on that.
Lane violation on Caitlin Potty, so another free throw and a chance for Sleep to add to this 20-18 lead. And she converts.
You see the lead shift now. It's 21-18 is the total in favor of ONL-X.
Zinnick. Back out to Sellis inside. Stepping through, fouls called. Count the basket for Olivia Boucher. And the foul's going to go on Anna Sleep.
That was a good effort to punch the gap there from Boucher. She saw the gap, she took it. Beautiful execution.
Off the back iron, rebound tracked down by Thorne. Sleep intercepts the pass intended for a Saints player inside. It'll be Saints ball, baseline, goes to Trigger. Stuck one, 2:15 left in the opening half. Arkvarn taps that back out of bounds, denying the pass intended for Zinnick.
The shirt's got to be tucked in. I'm a big proponent of that.
Respect the game, guys.
Every time, if I were to guard someone with their jersey untucked, I would hold it the entire time. That's punishment.
And Asleep with the defensive rebound, pushing ahead. Erica Thorne has one in the front court. It's Muldoon. Turn around, doesn't get it to go. Defensive rebound, corralled by Zinnick. Zinnick picked up by Thorne. Thorne working with 2 fouls, remember. Zinnick clearly wants to go to her right. Shot is up from the deep corner. That misses everything. Sleep has it. Fighting for it. Saved, and Thorne in the corner rips it away. Here's Sleep ahead. It's a 2-on-1. Arkvarn, left-handed, off glass, count the basket and the foul. Kayla Sellis getting overzealous with defense.
That is a beautiful call. First of all, for Arkvarn for spacing the floor, not collapsing with Sleep when she was coming down. Also for screaming her name, because before Sleep even had a chance to turn around, she knew where her teammate was, right? So, beautiful execution.
Ball ripped away by Caitlin Potty. Nothing easy for Anna Sleep here in this semifinal. Here's Boucher looking for Sellis, kicking it back out. Zinnick, deep 3, off the glass and through. And then Zinnick called for the foul, 90 feet from her own basket on the entry pass to Muldoon. Free throws upcoming for one of the purest free throw shooters in the game, Carrington Muldoon.
I think she was feeling the power from that 3 a little bit and wanted to get the play to kind of continue. You remember what I said about hero ball? That's kind of that thing, right? That's kind of the mindset. It's like, get one good play solid defense. Don't think then you have to go for the steal and then you got to go for the putback again, right? Like, just play consistent and the ball will fall in your hands.
LeBron James talked recently after a post-game, during a post-game interview, I should say. Anna Sleep with the rebound and the putback. About staying even-keeled throughout a series, and I feel like that really applies to a tournament style where you need to stay even-keeled throughout the game. If you sense your emotions getting too high or too low, you've got to reset that back to a neutral spot. That shot a little long. Sleep with the loose ball. Out ahead, Muldoon has one in front, and the foul's going to go on Zinnick. Muldoon back to the free throw line. 3-point lead, ONL-X ahead. 45 seconds left in the opening half. Here at the Royal Crown Academic School Gymnasium, Ontario Basketball G Elite Championship Sunday. Winner to take on Purpose-Driven Mentality, the PDM junior team coached by Jerron Robinson. They beat the North Toronto Huskies just earlier this morning. That is the final game of the day, and between now and then, we have 2 more quarters here and then an all-star game as Muldoon extends the lead. 10 points for Muldoon. Celis kicks it out to Ghost. Shot is up, a little too strong. Loose ball comes away with Olivia Boucher. Celis in the paint, working through some traffic. Zinnick, top side. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Zinnick keeps and hurls it, doesn't get it to go. The second shot clock violation of the quarter for the Saints. Arbor gets it right back from McKay. Looking for Sleep ahead of the pack. Double teamed with the hook shot, no good. Ghost with the rebound. Finds Potty. 7 seconds left. It's Boucher working to the left. Blocked at the top by Sleep. Another full court heave that hits the roof tiles, as we've seen so often this morning. Luckily, they stay on the roof.
People are forgetting that this gym is not like a clean shot to the other net. There's some dips. There's also a big partition that comes down into the middle. So, I mean, eventually someone will learn.
At the half, it's a 5-point lead. ONL-X ahead of the Tecumseh Saints. We'll step aside for a quick break. More action coming your way from the Royal Crown Academic School. You're watching the OBA G Elite Playoffs. Second half action underway. ONL-X ahead 28-23 over the Tecumseh Saints. The winner will take on purpose-driven mentality in the G Elite final game a little bit later this afternoon. Sleep with the offensive rebound, fouled on the way up. Anna Sleep had a quiet first half, just 5 points, when she averages nearly 15 per game for ONL-X. On the other side, it was a combination of Daphne Northcott and Olivia Boucher, 6 points apiece. Carrington Muldoon, great minutes coming off the bench, 10 points to lead all scores in the game for ONL-X and Asleep. The second shot is good.
We were kind of talking about it on the break there, but the things that both sides needed to work on. For the Saints, they just needed to be a little bit better in taking care of the ball, not fouling if you don't absolutely have to. We saw a lot of players. Miller has 3 fouls. Northcott sat for the majority of that second quarter. You don't want to take yourselves out of it by taking away your core group of girls on the floor due to foul trouble. For ONL-X, they just need to get a little better on taking better care of the ball, not turning it over as much, and also getting Sleep in a better position to score. She's naturally a bucket getter, we know this, but give her a better pass. Allow her to use her height to her advantage and don't pass her the ball so low that she takes away her opportunity.
Quick turnover for ONL-X. The Saints have the ball. We're seeing the first 5-person rotation with Anna Sleep and Ava McKay both on the floor at the same time. Northcott, baseline jumper, no good. That shot altered by Sleep, who's now running the court, picked up by Northcott. Kicked it back out. Here's McKay. She has a shot. She hit a 3 in the first half, takes it to the rack this time, and that's a good decision.
Beautiful patience, too, to know that the defense is a step behind rotating, and she had the pocket.
Celis fouled on the way to the rack. That's going to be an on-the-floor foul. The first against, I thought it was Muldoon. Shot is a little strong. Ghost blocked by Sleep. And then the pass swallowed up by Arbor. McKay has Arnkvarn ahead of the pack. Finds her. 1-2 step and left-handed layup is good. And it's a 10-point lead for ONL-X. Boucher into the middle of the court. Finds Zinnick, who traveled. And right now, the Saints playing a little outside of themselves.
We're also, different from what we obviously would have seen from yesterday, but Northcott's very quiet right now. Not really taking control of the ball, kind of staying a little bit to the side of every offensive play. She does need to turn up for them to succeed.
And right on that play, there's a timeout by the Saints head coach. And Northcott had Arnkvarn just to her left, decided to hedge and go into the middle of the court instead. That ball comes over the top. And Arnkvarn is just on fire here to open the third quarter.
It's kind of what I said as well, is if you're going to have help defense, you can cheat as much as you know you can get back in time to get the ball, right? There's some defenders, fair enough, that are quick enough that they can cheat so much onto the one side that they know they're fast enough to get back to the defender. But if you aren't able to do so, you cannot cheat that much because that's an easy layup for the other team every single time.
The Saints just looked a little discombobulated on those last few defensive possessions. And ONL-X are now on the run, which is their identity, and they're finding the right reads and the right passes, which makes them extremely difficult to slow down.
In the hole, Susan Hackle, and experience the power of connecting with Ron. She connected,
and you can't see it, but just off the screen, it's Anna Sleep, the grade 9 center, getting her team amped up, waiting for them to come on, giving them high fives. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So a leader very much as a basketball player, but also as a teammate. And that's what you love to see, especially at that young age.
And like we said, I know it's easy to forget that a lot of these girls are grade 9, grade 10, right? Like junior basketball. But if they're already instilling the coaches are instilling into these girls having that level of composure where you can not only hit the basket and add points on the board, but also be a consistent vocal leader. It's going to bode tremendously well for them the further they go in their career.
Northcott gets scraped off the hardwood. ONL-X ball. Full court press here. McKay right back to Arbor. Arbor turns on the Jets, working down the right-hand side. Bounce pass. Muldoon, McKay top side, looking for something. It's Sleep with the turn and the take and the finish.
There's a complete mismatch right now. Goss is kind of just guarding Sleep as best as she can, but with the height difference, Sleep can just go easily around her.
Here's Celis outside. Northcott, too strong. McKay quickly ahead, looking for Sleep. Sleep's got Muldoon underneath the basket, fouled hard by Zinnick. And of the 10 points that Muldoon already has, 7 have come from the free throw line. She got a chance to add 2 more. Katrina Miller, Brielle Poirier back into the game for the Saints. Stuck 14. Plenty of time left.
There's a complete breakdown on the help side for the Saints. That's honestly the only way that ONL-X is able to get inside. Everything else on defense for the Saints has been pretty much textbook. It's just that help side. The backhand side of that layup is what is allowing ONL-X to kind of increase their lead right now.
Muldoon up to 11 points to lead all scorers in the contest. Kayla Celis over the timeline, picked up by Muldoon. Far side, it's Poirier now. Looking inside, the shot is up, back iron, offensive rebound, and put back from Poirier.
Miller's back in, giving her hand on Sleep.
And Arbor forced it out of bounds. Good defense by Olivia Boucher.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just an idea that I have for the potential for the Saints defense. Miller is in a position where she has 3 fouls, right? So she doesn't really have many to give. What I would do is I would tell her just to face guard Sleep, completely take her out of the play and not even worry about where the ball is. In an event to hopefully allow her to not really get into too much more foul trouble, but also take Sleep out of the play. I think if they can try that, potentially, it might bode well for them.
Northcott on the pick and roll, off glass and through. Good find by Celis. I think Northcott's got to be the primary defender right now on Sleep because Miller's got those 3 fouls.
Yes.
Over the top, Sleep gives it right back to Arbor. Top side, Arnkvarn with the travel. Turnover. A couple of the players for the Saints right now heeled over, trying to catch their breath. The maximum energy and effort being expended. Poirier dancing at the top. Looking for a lane. Finds Northcott up. Ooh, blocked and knocked out of bounds by Sleep. Side out. Got to get it in, and they do. Quick, right back. Shot is up. Off the iron by Miller. Northcott has it top side. Celis finds Miller at the elbow. Extra pass down low. And there's going to be a foul. Olivia Boucher is going to the free throw line. Good ball movement by the Saints just then.
The Saints head coach on that last play where Sleep batted it out of bounds. I love how one of the first things he yelled out was, "She's going to be 6'2" all game. Bounce the ball."
The gym falls silent.
God, it was kind of eerie.
As Boucher misses the first.
I don't know about you, JD. I understand you want to be focused for foul shots. I need sound. I can't have it be deadly silent.
I feel like that also contributes to the focus because if there is that, outside noise, Sleep with the defensive rebound, you can kind of hone in. But when there's nothing that is you have to get away from, it's like, oh man, it's just so different, right?
Everyone's watching me.
Here's Celis off the miss from Sleep. Up ahead, Poirier. Inside, Nothing's there. Looking for a back cut. That's off the hands of Arkvarn and out of bounds. Baseline. Poirier to trigger for the Saints. Celis. Feet set. 3 is up. No good. Jump ball. Ann Arbor. Brielle Poirier fighting for it. It will go with ONL-X. Anna Sleep has it into the front court. Arkvarn with the finish. No, a little too strong. Second chance opportunity. And another basket from Arkvarn. Credit the assist to Sleep.
Miller needs to just absolutely front that. There's no way that Sleep should be able to get that ball.
Poirier from the baseline, no good. Arkvarn out and on the run. It's a 3-on-2. Muldoon back to Arkvarn, who's been finishing from that left-hand side with consistency. 10 points in the third quarter for Arkvarn. It's a 42-27 game. ONL-X ahead. Winner to take on PDM later today. Deep 3, back iron. Miller with the rebound, leaves it short. Sleep fighting for it. Northcott unable to keep it alive.
The middle is still really congested for the Saints. I understand that they're trying to set something up, but every single player is collapsing to the middle. You need to space the floor to give yourself a better opportunity.
Northcott working on Muldoon. Picks up the ball. Celis has time and space. Gets the shot off. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Second chance opportunities. Good for Poirier. She's up to 8 points in the contest. Sleep denied by Miller, and Miller picks up her 4th foul.
This is what I said, and when you're guarding someone like Sleep, who's so aggressive to pop through the ball, you can't be behind her. You can't. Because every single time the ref is going to see your hand on her body or your hand anywhere kind of near, that's going to be a foul called. You have to front it or be to the side of her. So that way you're half in front, half behind, so there's no chance of you reaching in at all.
So now it's Caitlin Potty who's tasked with guarding Sleep. Foul's going to go on Kayla Celis there for knocking Arbor to the ground. So 3rd foul on Celis. 4 for Miller. Here's Sleep over top. The double comes. Backside, Arkvarn looking to keep it alive to Thorne. Bodies all over the floor. Lutchenberg, deep 2, no good. Poirier out and on the run. It's a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 as ONL-X gets back.
That has to be pulled out. That has to be pulled out. It used, like you said, I think was what, 1-on-3 at one point, almost 1-on-4?
Brielle Poirier to trigger on the baseline. All the way to the top for Celis. Working to her left. Gets it right back. Shot is up. Potty off the mark. Lutchenberg with the rebound, fighting for it. And that's the 3rd foul on Caitlin Potty.
If you look,
Correction, that's going to be the 4th foul on Potty.
right, well, I think the story is kind of continuing for the Saints. They're just getting a lot of their key players into foul trouble. Something I do want to point out, we're seeing a drastic difference in performance from Northcott. Whereas from yesterday, she was attacking the play. She was spearheading the play. She always had her hand on the ball. Right now, and specifically that last play, I guarantee you probably couldn't tell me where she was. She was floating the entire time. She's hidden in the back of the play, standing behind her defender. She's taking herself out of the offensive rotation. So every time her team goes down, it's like a 4-on-5. They're automatically down 1. I want to see her get more comfortable, get back into this game, and shoot the ball a little better.
Technical foul issued.
There's going to be a technical foul issued to the Saints head coach. The play was going on, and he was saying something untoward towards Rob Spadafora. I get emotions are running high. Game's sort of getting to that point where it's, not quite out of reach, but moving in that direction. Ann Arbor misses the opportunity to add points for ONL-X. But you're also, a role model for these girls. We've got to keep it positive, and
again, I
we
know
will proceed.
it's a massive fan base that we see here for both sides, right? Especially with the distance that they both had to come. But you need to remember that it needs to come down to the playability and also showing respect to the referees as well as the coaching staff and everybody. So hopefully we can get to a point where it's just settled a little bit better.
McKay downhill, blocked by Northcott. Sellis ahead, Northcott out and on the run. She's going to dismiss Thorne and shoot and drain it. And that's the type of play you need from a player like Northcott.
She's been too hidden for too long in this game, and she needs to start standing out for her team.
Credit Erica Thorne. She's a great defender, making life difficult for Daphne Northcott on that side of the ball. McKay with the travel and the turnover. 9-point game, 2:37 left in the third quarter. Saints ball side out. Poirier to trigger. If the ball does not find Northcott hands on this offensive possession, and there she is.
It needs to. For too long in this third quarter, she went without touching the ball.
There she is, working on Thorne, stepping into the paint, into McKay, over the top, and it's good. McKay accepts the pass into the front court, looking for the back cut. Arbor, top side, throws it out of bounds. Lutchenberg creeping towards the middle of the court instead of the wing. Anna Sleep back into the game alongside Farrington Muldoon. ONL-X, timeout on the floor. They're going to talk things over. 2:14 left in the third quarter. The Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to the exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit portal.uptownwireless.ca. That's portal.uptownwireless.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected. Stay in the game. Powered by OBA and Rogers. So Daphne Northcott coming alive here in the third quarter, averaging nearly 12 points per game, third in the G Elite division. She's got 10 in the quarter and 14 for the game. And the Saints do have quite a strong team.
Yep.
Right, but this game requires one individual person to take over, and it needs to be Northcott.
It has to be. Some players maybe can allow themselves to kind of just play a little bit behind the defense, but she can't. She's a critical scorer for her team.
Sellis working on Muldoon. Not a lot of action. Muldoon keeping Sellis on the outside. Sellis no good. Sleep with the defensive rebound, keeping it high, inviting some contact. Stolen on the backside. It's a fight on the floor. Northcott and Sleep. Jump ball. Saints ball.
It's a good effort from the top two key players we said coming into this game.
Shot clock's going to be worked down to 18. Correction, 19 on the shot clock. Quickly heads up for Poirier. Didn't work. Tried to throw it off the back of Sleep.
It's worked a few times. I've done it once, but it's hard. You got to hit it off a certain part of the back.
Here's Muldoon. Thorne on the far side, looking for Sleep inside. The give and goes, not there. Sleep, second chance. Muldoon from distance. Back iron. Where's the rebound going to go? Northcott, who picks up the ball. Dead ball. Sellis turns the corner on McKay. Tries to create some space and does. Going to pull it back out. Three is up. That's too strong. saved. Poirier doesn't get the bounce. Sleep with the rebound. Knocked loose. Northcott's on the floor, and Thorns ahead for ONL-X. Sleep right in the middle of the court. They didn't find her. McKay on the near side. Muldoon. Baseline. No good. Sleep. Offensive rebound. Second chance. No. Sellis ahead to Northcott. Northcott's over the timeline. Picked up by Thorne. Finds Sellis. And the loose ball finds Northcott. Baseline jumper. Goes. 8 points in the quarter for Northcott. 35 left in the third quarter. Baseline for ONL-X. They're in trouble. They throw it away. Sellis. Bounce pass. Good, but missed from Boucher. Poirier for two. No good. Good rebound on the offensive side by Potty. Tied up McKay and Potty, and ONL-X will have possession. 17 seconds left in the quarter. Shot clock is turned off.
Only correction I would say for Potty is when you pivot, you have to pivot to go somewhere. Don't pivot to stop. And then the thing that I hate the most is when players are caught wailing their elbows in the air, pivoting in a circle. No. Pivot hard the first time, go somewhere, drive to the net, draw the foul.
Turnover on the baseline, inbound pass. Ann Arbor walked the line, and you can't do that.
That comes down onto communication. She potentially didn't realize.
The Saints have to get it in. They do. Top side. Northcott back into the paint. Through some contact. Nothing called. Sleep fighting for the rebound with Potty. Poirier. There's a foul on the floor. That's going to go against Ann Arbor. She picks up her first. Another baseline play here for the Saints. Late into the inbound. They got to get it in. 5-second violation. Couldn't get it done. But now ONL-X still need to get it in. Half-court heave. Sellis accepts it. Turned over. Bounce pass, but then re-intercepted Ann Arbor. And the third quarter is going to come to an end. 42-37, Ottawa next level lead to Tecumseh Saints here in the G Elite semifinal game number 2. The winner to take on purpose-driven mentality at a 4 o'clock tip-off. $15 points. Daphne Northcott leads all Saints. On the other side, 14 for Maria Ankvarn, 10 coming in that third quarter. Carrington Muldoon started the game off with a 3 and then has been at the free throw line ever since then with 8 points, 11 total for Muldoon.
Okay, so the deficit is kind of
5 points.
yeah.
Nothing really to worry about. Not double digits. Again, the second semifinal game coming down to a possession for possession game. Can't get too high, can't get too low. Don't look too far into the future. Don't even look in the past. Focus on what the task is at hand right now.
That almost kind of rhymed. Put that on a t-shirt.
Saints have it to start the fourth. Zinnick to Poirier. Northcott dials it from deep. Fouled on the attempt. Hit on the arm from Muldoon. Her third foul of the game. 3 upcoming free throws for Northcott. Rattling through the first.
No, I see. If this was me, I'd be telling my teammates to like be stomping their feet or something.
The second, nothing but net. And Northcott has a perfect trip to the charity stripe.
You could tell that's like her coach said exactly that. She's up 6 a.m. shooting free throws. You could tell.
Sleep. Can't corral that pass down low and turns it over. So ONL-X come out of the quarter break with a foul on a three-point attempt and a turnover on the offensive side. Boucher keeps. Zinnick to Northcott. She had a little bit of space, decided not to shoot. Zinnick trying to shake Muldoon. Knocked out of bounds by Arkvarn. Arkvarn out and on the run after the steal. Well-timed block by Zinnick. And like you said earlier in the game, when you're going to have that kind of windup, you better make sure you're contacting just ball. Zinnick, well done. Sleep with the turnaround, off glass and through. Again, when you can't double team her, she's going to make you pay.
Absolutely.
A quiet 10 points for Anna Sleep in this contest. Slowly stringing it together. And then a block on the defensive side. All 6'2" of Anna Sleep getting up to deny Caitlin Potty. Playing with 4 fouls, by the way. Quickly in, Zinnick, deep shot, back iron. Potty can't corral the loose ball. It's off the leg of Arbor. We'll stick with the Saints. 7 on the shot clock. Northcott, open. Extra pass, baseline. Another block for Sleep. Out and on the run, has Muldoon ahead of everybody. Block to the other side, Northcott. Stepping out of bounds, unable to keep it alive. Defense really stepping up here in the fourth quarter. It's that time of the game. Shot clock's going to be reset to 18. No change of possession. Arkvarn, top side. Muldoon looking for Sleep. That pass to Aaron. Out and on the run. Boucher. Left strong.
Beautiful run back from Thorne coming from the complete opposite baseline.
Anna Sleep just from one end to the other, traipsing down the middle of the court, going uncontested the whole way.
Only point I'll push out for her is that she needs to be a little more control with her dribble. That was close to the ball a couple times, coming a little high. It could have been called a carry. But other than that, like textbook.
Going for the steal. Northcott left alone on the perimeter. Too strong. Offensive rebound. Boucher. Poirier now turning. Hounded by Thorne. And Thorne comes away with the strip. Arkvarn traipsing down the left-hand side. That is a hard foul on Zinnick.
See, and this is where knowing your opponent comes into play, right? Zinnick is always going to go to swat the ball every single time. It doesn't matter if she's there on defense or not. She's going to go to swat the ball. Knowing that, all I need to do if I'm ONL-X is bring the ball onto my off hip, and she's going to cross my body every single time.
Maria Arkvarn at the free throw line, averaging just over 10 points per game in the regular season, had 10 points in that third quarter. 15 points in the game now with a chance to make it 16 and does. Maria Arkvarn stepping up alongside Anna Sleep for ONL-X. And Carrington Muldoon, the trio, getting the scoring up for the team from Ottawa. Northcott, offensive rebound, working through the lane, fouled, and Daphne Northcott's going to go to the free throw line. Arkvarn picks up her second foul. Northcott 3 of 3 earlier in the quarter from the charity stripe. Five points, all from the free throw line in the fourth quarter for Daphne Northcott. 20 points in the game. Muldoon working down the right-hand side into the corner. Picked up the dribble, Sleep, fakes the shot, moves downhill, uses the glass, and seeds it through. Now, that shot fake isn't really a shot fake.
No,
It's more of a ball fake.
Yeah. And her, as soon as she's moving downhill, though, she can't be stopped.
Boucher dials it from deep, misses everything there to clear it. Was Xavery Ghosts. Count the basket and the foul. And Arkvarn picks up her third foul. 2 fouls in a matter of 60 seconds for Arkvarn. Xavery Ghosts. Can't convert. Sleep with the rebound. Thorne quickly to Arkvarn. Into the front court. Pushed on the backside. Counts the basket. The officials are going to come together. I saw Muldoon push Celis into the player, and that's what they're going to talk about here on the backside. This is a difficult call to make.
I will say, though,
So foul on Celis. That's her fourth.
Arkvarn, she should have cleared the zone, or she should have cleared so that way Thorne had more of an angle to get in, but that was 100% a push on the defender into her back.
Thorne taps the rebound, unable to keep it inbounds.
And you know what? People say the ball doesn't lie. You know?
I've heard that before.
Ball doesn't lie.
I've heard that before.
And I'm not saying this for any particular reason, but I'm just saying, the ball doesn't lie.
Here's Celis into the front court. Finds Ghosts. Pulls it. A little strong. Ann Arbor with the rebound. 3 yellow jerseys swarming. Northcott comes away with it. Working into Sleep. Spins into the lane and is fouled. And Daphne Northcott will go back to the free throw line.
Northcott was close on getting called on the push there. I think if her arm extended any further, she would have been. She just needs to be a little careful on that one.
Thorne picks up her third foul. Remember, she had 2 in the first quarter. Had stayed disciplined there in the middle stretch of the game. And now it's Northcott back to the free throw line. She's 5 of 5 in the fourth quarter. Those 6 a.m. shooting practices really paying off here in the semifinal game. Northcott sinks them both. 7 of 7 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter when it matters most. Pounding Muldoon, turned over. Northcott in the middle. Ball goes to Xavery Ghosts. She gets it through. More pressure from the Saints. 4-point game. Dead ball in the backcourt. Heaving it to Sleep. Sleep steps around the primary defender, finds Arkvarn on the backside. That's an easy 2. Northcott on the far side, picked up by Thorne. Uses the screen, gets the smaller defender, finds the roller off the glass and gets it through. Good 2-person game. Miller and Northcott. Thorne quickly ahead. Muldoon to Arkvarn, who has the step on Celis. And Celis, another foul. She's out of the game. And you can see how much it means to these girls to be on the court in a semifinal. Emotion strung all over Kayla Celis' face. She fouls out of this contest and now leaves it up to her teammates to complete this comeback.
It's hard, especially when you try as best as you can to give your team the best possible advantage. And it's not nice, right? Especially in a game, too, where it could potentially be the final one of the season. Emotions are definitely high, to say the least.
Barnes swishes through the first. Misses the second, 17 second half points for Maria Arnkvarn. Northcott loses the handle, picks it back up, working on Thorne. Wide open, shot is up, back iron. Does it get the bounce? No. Offensive rebound there for Miller with the fake and the left. That's no good. Third chance opportunity, nothing there. Play on, says the baseline official. Tie up. And we're going to have a tie up that will stay with ONL-X, but they will only have 3 seconds to get it over the timeline.
That needs to be communicated to them as well. I don't know if they understand this right now. I haven't heard anyone from their side of the bench call it.
They go for it right away, and Muldoon comes away with the loose ball, kick ball on the pass intended for Arnkvarn.
That was a good attempt. If that was me and if I was the only person back on defense, I'd put my foot out.
14 on the shot clock. ONL-X ball. 5:13 left in regulation. 5-point game. Ottawa ahead. All the way back to the timeline. Arnkvarn picked up by Zinnick. Gives it to Thorne. Ann Arbor looking for a lane. Hounded on the defensive side by Boucher. Thorne to the basket. No. Miller with the rebound. Zinnick now out and on the run. Moving down the left-hand side. Back to the middle. Quickly ahead. Goss for 3. No. Northcott taps it to Miller in the lane. Blocked by Sleep. Out of bounds on the save attempt by ONL-X. So Tecumseh have the ball baseline out of bounds. 14 on the shot clock. Xavier Goss to trigger.
I think the Saints are relying a little bit too much on their perimeter shots. They need to be driving the ball in, especially we just hit under the 5-minute mark. They're down by 5. They need to be driving it in more.
Miller shoots. That's no good. Loose ball on the floor. ONL-X tie up again. And that's going to stay with the Saints. Tecumseh calls a timeout. Going to talk about it. 5-point deficit, 4:35 to play, and they've lost Kayla Sellis to fouls. The Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit portal.uptownwireless.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected, stay in the game. Powered by OBA and Rogers.
To grab yourself one of our exclusive elite hoodies.
Daphne Northcott getting 7 points from the free throw line here in the fourth. To go with 8 points there in the third. 15-point half so far for Northcott, who has absolutely put the Saints team on her back. Meanwhile, Arnkvarn on the other side having an unbelievable game to complement Anna Sleep's performance as well, giving ONL-X the lead by 5 down the stretch. The Saints supporters getting vocal here in the gym. Got to get it in. 5-second violation, the second of the game after a called timeout, Sid. That's tough.
There needs to be a fail-safe option, which I'm pretty sure that they have. But tension is running high, but there needs to be somewhere, hey, the play's breaking down, I'm just going to run to the ball.
And turned over the other way, Ava McKay. Everybody's going away from the ball. You need somebody to come to the ball to get that pass.
Has to be like some sort of an anchor, someone who's either going to be on the side or in the middle, just to give that extra pass.
Zinnick back outside, a little too strong. Northcott with the offensive rebound. Kicks it back out to Zinnick into the corner. Relocating was Goss. That's not going to go. And there's going to be a foul on Thorne down low, her fourth. Scratch that. That's going to be changed to Northcott on the hold. So Thorne still has 3. Northcott picks up her second. Arnkvarn and Zinnik going for the loose ball. Last touched by Zinnik. Side out, McKay to trigger for ONL-X. Muldoon. Far side, Arnkvarn from distance. Front iron, McKay taps it to herself. Second chance blocked at the top. Zinnik able to keep it alive, but trapped in the corner. Got to get it over the timeline in 2 seconds. There she finally does. Xavier Ghost attacks baseline. The floater's good. Foul on the ensuing play. Shooting 2. And Erica Thorne finally picks up her 4th foul. Northcott shooting 2.
Coach kind of pointed this out for the Saints before I had to, but just to kind of echo what he said with Northcott, obviously she's headed to the line for 2. Could have been an and 1. She just when she turned, she just needed to bend her legs a little bit more, give herself more of a solid base. That way when she went up, she's giving herself a better viewpoint of the basket.
9 points in the corner for Northcott. All coming from the free throw line. Sleep ahead of the pack. Miller back there to contest, but playing with 4 fouls, you want to stay in the game, and Anna Sleep just gets an easy look at 2. Zinnik top side, finds Miller. Goss, back to Miller. Moving from left to right, here's Thorne. Working on Northcott. 1 to beat, just pulls up, no good, gets her own rebound. Stripped from Zinnik, fighting for it on the ground. Jump ball, Saints ball. Stuck 3, 3:08 left in the 4th. Oh man, this has the making for another great finish.
On that last offensive rush for the Saints, Daphne was staying so far on the off-ball side, she needed to flash in because the defense wasn't looking at her. She could have hit down another one of her mid-range games, but she needs to be active in the play at every single moment.
Sleep into the middle of the floor, loses the handle, kicks it out of bounds. And another one of those kind of touchdown pass inbounds from the baseline that's interrupted from ONL-X, who are playing 3 deep. Not a lot of pressure coming before the timeline. Wide open, Boucher decides to pass it back to Zinnik, who dials it, front iron, fighting for it, falls into the hands of Arbor. Down the right-hand side, looking ahead, Thorne quickly, nice. Hands in the passing lanes, Xavier Goss. And Arkbarn's coming back in for Ava McKay. Ann Arbor to trigger for ONL-X. Arkvarn back to Arbor, left alone in the corner, too strong, Sleep, loose ball, doesn't get it to go, and Boucher will settle it down for the Saints. Northcott in some traffic, off glass, leaves it short, Sleep with the rebound, fouled by Katrina Miller, and Miller is out of the game, the second Saints player to foul out. And with Miller heading out, that brings back in Caitlin Potty. Both teams in the bonus.
We were hearing a little bit of the conversation between the ref and the head coach for the Saints on why it wasn't a foul for Northcott. And the main thing the ref was saying is because her body was leaning away from the basket, which is something that I've been saying for Northcott. She needs to fully lean in every single time she goes, make it the complete effort to complete the basket, so that way it's a clear foul that is committed.
Sleep misses them both. Northcott with the defensive rebound. Goss ahead, looking for Zinnik. Has a lane, gets a defender in the air, uses glass, and sees it through.
Difference of 1 point now. Still in favor of ONL-X. we're hitting a 2-minute mark left in this game.
Ann Arbor with the floater, no. Boucher with the rebound. Has Northcott to her right. Tries to shake her defender behind the back into the lane. A right-handed finish. Olivia Boucher getting it done and giving the Saints the lead. Quickly ahead, Arnkvarn, 2-on-1. Keeps, left hand, no good. Sleep, offensive rebound, put back, no. Arnkvarn, third chance. That's going to go. Count the basket and the foul. Olivia Boucher picks up her second foul, and the Saints just haven't done a good enough job boxing out Anna Sleep or Maria Arnkvarn and putting energy and emphasis on the defensive glass.
It needs to be known that when Sleep is on the floor, if you're guarding her, don't even care about grabbing a rebound yourself. If that was me, I would box her until she's literally going on the other out-of-bounds line. I would continue to back her out. Don't even try to go for the rebound if you're guarding her. Make sure your mission should be boxing her out.
Arnkvarn's got 20 points in the second half. Her team back ahead by 2. 1 minute, 35 seconds left to play. Nice find. Poirier in the lane. No. Northcott fouled on the backside by Sleep. 2 upcoming free throws for Daphne Northcott. Northcott hasn't missed from the charity stripe in the second half. Off, of course. I had to say it. Goss from distance. Back iron. 2 yellow jerseys fighting for the rebound. Poirier underneath. Working back to the left. Leaves it short. And it's Thorne ahead. Arnkvarn traipsing down the left-hand side. Keeps, takes, and makes. Timeout on the floor. Maria Arnkvarn putting ONL-X on her back and getting it done. The team from Ottawa up 3.
It's coming down to... Okay, this is what I was going to say. With the Saints, they weren't focusing enough on the off-ball, right? They were solely focusing on the on-ball play, that they weren't looking at the secondary option. Now, though, they're focusing so much on the off-ball pass, especially we've seen how many times has ONL-X gotten in a position where they're going down on a fast break 2-on-1 situation. Multiple times in this game. Now we're seeing, though, where they're focusing so much on, the pass is going to happen, that Arnkvarn has multiple times been able to just have a clear lane to the basket. Like, she's been able to get the majority of her points within the third and fourth quarter off of just taking the ball because no one's contesting her. There has to be a happy medium, and I think that there needs to be a little better of a job on defense for the Saints to charge the person with the basketball, but still be able to slide over to get that pass, right? Also, though, in the same breath, there shouldn't be as many 2-on-1 opportunities as we're seeing that the Saints have to defend against.
Arnkvarn 26 to lead all scorers. Northcott 25, 1 behind her. And Anna Sleep up to 16 in the game. Zinnick accepts the inbound pass, works to the baseline, picks up the dribble, finds Boucher, baseline jumper, no good. Change of possession. Full court press. Ann Arbor finds Thorne, looking for Sleep to Muldoon. That's out of bounds. Last touched by Goss, they say. Officials are going to come together, and they're going to overturn the call. Saints basketball, stuck 3, 53 seconds left. Don't necessarily need a 3 here, Sid. Can kind of find something inside.
I think they need to, because their shooting hasn't been accurate enough that I think they can rely on it. I would just be driving in every single option. They have no time to stop the ball. They got to drive it in.
Poirier finds Zinnick, who's fouled on the backside. Zinnick's going to go to the free throw line for a look at 2, as Sleep picks up her 3rd. So the clock stops. You get 2 looks from the free throw line. That's not a bad, situation right now for the Saints.
That's exactly why every single possession now the Saints have to drive in. They have to.
Zinnick off the left iron. Back iron, Northcott, offensive rebound, going up, blocked at the top by Sleep, then foul Sleep, going the other way. That's going to go against Boucher. Boucher's third sends Anna Sleep to the line. Again, could be a worse situation. Not much time comes off the clock. You're sending Sleep to the line where she's 4 of 8, 50% today.
Yeah. It's a good choice, honestly, if I were to pick anybody. But she is a slow burn, though.
Misses the first. Now you got to box out and rebound. If you're the Saints, a lot of offensive switching and movement needs to happen when they get that ball. Sleep. Second one in and out. Fourier into the front court. Northcott trailing on the near side. She wants it. She gets it. Ghost attacks. Misses wide right. Sleep with the defensive rebound. Foul intentionally. Ann Arbor to the free throw line. Brielle Poirier picking up the foul. Her first.
The foul needed to come a lot sooner. They shaved off about 4 seconds off that clock.
Arbor rattles through the first. The second as well. 2-possession game, lead up to 5, 20 seconds left. Got to get a 3. Boucher keeps, hands off to Northcott. She's got to get a shot up. From the elbow, misses. Arnkvarn taps it to Sleep, who gets it back to Arnkvarn. Out and on the run, Muldoon. Arnkvarn's just going to dribble it out and is fouled on the backside by Zinnick.
Those are good. I mean, obviously, everyone in this gym wanted Arnkvarn to pass it up, but she didn't have to, and she knew she didn't have to. It was a good heads-up play. Take the ball. If they decide to foul you, great. If not, you can drain out the clock, and that's exactly what she did.
Arnkvarn misses the first, but would at a 5-point lead with 1.4 left, this game is all but over. Misses the second, Sleep with another rebound, and that'll do it. ONL-X outlast the Tecumseh Saints 64-59 and will take on purpose-driven mentality in the G Elite Championship game. 26 points from Arnkvarn, 16 from Anna Sleep, and 11 from Carrington Muldoon. A full performance, a triple-headed monster, if you will, from this Ottawa Next Level team, now awaiting to shake hands with the Saints.
It was a battle from start to finish.